One of the greatest threats to Christianity in the first century is one of the greatest threats to Christianity in this century. Transgender sexuality without any God-given restrictions. I'll read it to you. So then I started digging, and I found the History of Religions. It's this textbook on religions. It's not a Christian book. Here's what it reports. Competition between Christian and pagan in the ancient world is a battle between believers and transgender priests. That's the backdrop. Here's the quote. These infamous men with their impure, unchaste, polluted bodies were none other than the Galli, the priests of the god Cybele and Attis, whose mystery religion constituted one of early Christianity's major rivals. Time and time again, Christian apologists cited the Galli as representative of all they abhorred in pagan culture and religion, and of all the outrages of the Galli, none horrified them more than the radical manner in which they transgressed the boundaries of gender. The History of Religions textbook goes on to say, there's this very unique phenomenon in world history. Wherever there is the worship of a female god, goddess, the men are all castrated and transgender who serve as their high priests and worshipers. They dress up with makeup and they go out in public, and the description is exactly a drag show. Now, what's interesting, the History of Religion says we see this phenomena globally and historically. We see it in India and Pakistan and Rome. We see it in different religions, in different regions, in different languages and nations and cultures. And then this is where I literally just had a mind melt. They said and summarized, what's so interesting is we see this same phenomena. Worship the goddess, castrate the men in all these religions and cultures and regions and languages, and we have no way to explain it because they didn't ever intersect and there's no point of connection. How could you have the same thing happening in all these places? And literally, they came to the conclusion, we don't have an explanation. Yeah, we do. New days, same demons. The same spirits that were at work in the Old Testament and the days of Rome continue their work to this very day. So I'll give you an example of what this looks like. The United Methodist Church on the right has got Mrs. Pentecost. This is a drag queen who is finishing their ordination to become licensed clergy. And their ministry is, quote unquote, ministry, is to go into United Methodist churches and to go up on the stage where the Bible should be taught and to do sermons for children. That's a denomination that's an abomination. Won't even say what that person says, not sure what the pronoun is, but what they've said about the Bible. So let me say this. You're very uncomfortable, but it's true. You're very troubled because now you're starting to see. You're going to want to attack me, but I'm not the issue. What I want to do, I want to look at this spirit and how now it is at work powerfully in our world. So Jezebel and Ahab at Black Lives Matter. The original Black Lives Matter mission statement has largely been scrubbed from the internet. Now, if somebody says, well, do Black Lives Matter? Well, of course they do. People are made in the image and likeness of God, and God loved them so much that Jesus died for them. But the movement isn't about that. It's deception. It's fake news or false prophecy. Here was the original statement that has largely been scrubbed from the internet. We make space for transgender brothers and sisters to participate and lead. This is a gender, sex issue. I thought, we do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege, male, female, and uplift black trans folks, especially black trans women. We build space that is free from sexism, misogyny, and environments which are men-centered. We dismantle the patriarchal practice. That means fathers. That requires mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in the private, even as they participate in public justice work. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Mom, dad, kids. We foster a queer-affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intent of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that in all the world are heterosexual unless he, she, or they disclose otherwise. Why is this such a powerful movement? Because it's spiritual. Our war is not against flesh and blood, but powers, principalities, and spirits. This movement was founded by three people, a counterfeit trinity: Elise Gars, Patrice Colliers, who's from Prescott, and Opal Tometi, all of which are non-traditional sex and gender roles. And what they're saying is, we are anti-Christ. If you are saying, we are anti-male-female, we are anti-father, we are anti-nuclear family, you are anti-Christ. You are. And anti-Christ means to remove and replace. And that's what this is. Black Lives Matter is a secular religion with a spiritual force that is now imposing itself on churches governed by Ahab leaders who will not stand up to a Jezebelian spirit.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Pastor Mark. I've been teaching the Bible for more than 3 decades and head on constant collisions with woke culture. And I would love to get you more Bible teaching. 2 things you can do. Go ahead and watch the sermon in total and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll just keep sending you Bible teaching and we'll have a lot more fun together.